Clubs horrible. Like, I don't know what are there clubs. Do people go to clubs nowadays? Like,
I have no idea.
I, but I mean, back in my 20s, everybody went to a club, and I did not enjoy it, man. It was just everybody was faking on their bullshit. You know, women just automatically expect you to buy them shit just off the break. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It's like starting a conversation. Usually, it start with like what you drinking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it goes from there. But I enjoy it. I'm not a big dancer.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
and plus niggas back then didn't dance anyway. So like, only thing you would go to the club and like you just bought a new pair of shoes just to go to the club, or you bought a whole outfit for that one night, right? And then you get there and you all hype and you geek, and then you get there and you just holding the drink, and you just post it up on the wall, just like watching everybody, watching all the women have fun and hating on the other guys in there. You know, it's not fun to me. It's like, man, I would rather be at home playing Final Fantasy right now.
This nigga said Final Fantasy. It's all good.
Uh, hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? It's another week. That means it's another edition of the A.n.A podcast. How you doing? Thank you for clicking on this and checking us out. My name is Alex Mack, and my partner in record with me, as always, is.
Alex Hood.
Hi, man. What's up? Yeah. So, how was your weekend, man? How's everything going?
All is well, man. I had a pretty uneventful weekend. My birthday was on Thursday, but the
Oh, it
rest.
was.
Yeah,
Oh man, no, nobody told me. Happy birthday, bro. Happy belated.
thanks, man. I'm 1 year closer to the end. You know what I mean?
Don't even. You're good. Imagine how I feel. But yeah. So you had so it's a Thursday. So this whole weekend was your party basically.
Hardly. I celebrated Thursday, nursed a hangover Friday morning, and I had rehearsal on Saturday, church on Sunday, and more rehearsal after church. You know, that kind of thing. I'm not really excuse me. I'm not really a party animal kind of guy. Like I don't. Yeah, I get a few. I used to be, but even when I was, it was just more people at the house with more drinks and you know. But ever since then, I've really preferred just a smaller group of people and a movie and just yeah. So it was low key. I went to Longhorn, steakhouse and whatnot.
Nice. Yeah. I haven't been there yet. There's one literally like right down the street from me. Haven't been there for some reason. I keep hearing it's good, but I know I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's
Um,
pretty all right.
but yeah, I was the same way. I'm kind of the same way. I'm like I'm a low key, like, you know, I think most of my partying was back in like high school, early 20s for me. You know,
Right.
that was like the clubbing and frat parties. You know, it's this thing we used to go to University of Maryland and just like sneak into like a frat party. You know what I mean? I don't. It was my ass should have been taking classes there. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just going to sneak in like an ignorant nigga that I am. You know what I'm saying? And just party with the kids that are like making 100K right now.
Yeah, I've never been to a frat party. I've never been to. I did not live much of the college life when I was there because I didn't want to be there. So I was just like, I'm not. I'm gonna commit to not enjoying my time here. Which some of that was my own stubbornness, but a lot of it I really didn't fuck with my time in college. So but yeah, I've never been to a frat party. I've never been inside a real club. Um, there's a lot of stuff I haven't done. I don't really have any interest in it. I've never been to a strip club, anything like that. I don't want to go. So
Wow, really?
yeah,
There's a part of I mean, there's a part of me that's like that's kind of cool, kind of admirable, you know. Because I can't say that I've never been to any of those clubs. I've done all of them, but I can honestly say I really didn't enjoy them. The only like really good time I had was at those like frat parties on campus because those are kind of close to like the movies kind of get them right. You know what I mean? It's a lot of kegs, a lot of shots, um, a lot of dude bros daring females to do like horrible stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I didn't think that was fun. Hold on, I need a disclaimer, right? I need a disclaimer. No, I do not approve or look fondly upon all that. Just the atmosphere, just the party and hang and loose. But yeah, clubs horrible. Like, I don't know what are there clubs? Do people go to clubs nowadays? Like
I have no idea.
I, but I mean back in my 20s, everybody went to a club and I did not enjoy it, man. It was just everybody was faking on their bullshit. You know, women just automatically expect you to buy them shit just off the break. You know what I'm saying? You can't it's like starting a conversation, usually it start with like what you drinking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it goes from there. But I enjoy it. I'm not a big dancer.
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no.
and plus niggas back then didn't dance anyway, so like only thing you would go to the club and like the like you just bought a new pair of shoes just to go to the club, or you bought a whole outfit for that one night, right? And then you get there and you all hype and you geek, and then you get there and you just holding the drink, and you just post it up on the wall, just like watching everybody, watching all the women have fun and hating on the other guys in there. It's not fun to me. It's like, man, I would rather be at home playing Final Fantasy right now.
This nigga said Final Fantasy. It's all good. I smoke out.
And strip clubs too. Strip clubs are just, I, it's the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can only imagine, bro. I consider going to one because there's a scene in one of my books where they have to go into a strip club. So I was like, maybe I should get some first hand experience. And I was like, nah. I'll Google it. I'll do some research.
research. You're gonna do some research.
Online, nigga. An article.
Yeah, it sucks though. Like you see, I mean, it's like starving and going to a restaurant, but like you can't eat unless you pay. Like, well, you can't eat at all. All you can do is just look at the food and smell it, but you can't eat.
This nigga.
You know what I'm saying? No, so you see a plate that you like, you just put $1 next to the plate, but you can't eat it. Yeah, it's like I was like, why do we do this to ourselves? why do we torture ourselves like this?
Yeah, I mean, for all that, you might as well work out some porn, bro. At least you don't gotta pay for that shit.
All right, hold on. Let's all right, get back on track. Back on track. So we got we got a couple reviews this week, and we also got a reaction as usual. We got this one should be pretty fun. It's a Watch Mojo thing on YouTube. Watch Mojo is huge on YouTube, and so I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this, you've watched like 10 or 20 or 100 of their videos so far. But
yeah, I used to rock with him heavy until I discovered what culture. I kind of default to what culture these days, but Watch Mojo is still an occasional, whatever. When I see a list that I actually care about.
Yeah, I rock when they do wrestling. I rock with them pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So like what culture wrestling? Yeah. I put I think I uploaded it today. It's a reaction I did with like Vince McMahon, who's very controversial right now. So I did that one, and I was like, yeah, Hood ain't into this, so I'll spare him like going through all this. And
this man went behind my back and started making comments.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get the content up, baby. Content, baby. Actually, I should talk to you off camera about that. But I think I found the yeah, I think I found a hustle for the channel. You know what I'm saying? But I'll talk to you off camera.
Yeah, don't tell your trade secrets, bro.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna transition over here. Um, I don't know. Hood's gonna talk about the boys, season 3, because confession time. I haven't started it yet, but Hood has, thankfully, and yeah, man. What you think about the boys season 3 so far?
I think this is the most the boys has ever been the boys since the boys started doing the boys thing. I
Say that 5 times fast.
no, dude. Like I was a little apprehensive, low key, because season two I wasn't super thrilled about. I think we talked about that a little bit. I didn't hate it, but like it clearly wasn't as strong as season one. So I was like, all right. And now that I've read all of the comic, and I've read the entire comic series at this point.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I have.
All right.
And now that I've done that, it kind of pointed out a few problems I had with the show, namely that I can see some of the events from the comic book. They're kind of condensing the timeline a little bit. So I was like, even before I read the comic, something about the show just felt off to me. Like the fact that even early in season one, our ragtag group of guys were already getting involved with like the seven and shit. I was like, all right, how is this gonna play? Because there's only but so many bullshit ways they can come up with to get out of trouble against fucking Homelander. Um, and in the
True.
comic, the context is completely different because the characters use temporary compound V to go up against Supes. On top of that, they spend a lot of their time,
Okay.
yeah. On top of that, they spend a lot of their time going up against like way lower class Supes. They don't even really deal with the seven until like the last couple volumes of the series itself. They have like little minor run-ins here and there, but nothing like in the show.
Okay.
Like in the show, it was straight up like we're going after the seven. So
Right.
I was kind of a little weirded out by like how they were gonna keep that story going. But in season three, they introduced the temp V thing, and I'm not going to spoil it too much because I know you haven't started, and who knows where the people who are watching this are. But they introduced that aspect, which makes it easier for me to buy it. I was like, okay, I can I can dig this. Butcher is a dick, like I mean, like like he is fucking just losing his mind, and I'm like, okay, all right, well,
Okay.
you might be a villain. I believe you qualify as a villain at this point. Marvin Mother's Milk is becoming a really more interesting a character this season than I think he has. And I've always liked his character, but I think he's more interesting so far this season because he has a personal vendetta against one of the characters they introduced, who I won't go into.
Okay.
Um, Huey and Starlight, their um their drama is kind of annoying. I don't. It's one of those typical like clashing of ideologies, so we might have to break up type shit. Um, so there's that whole thing. Soldier Boy, great addition. It's like
Soldier Boy.
he's like Captain America, but like Captain America meets the Punisher almost. Like he maybe
Oh,
that's
word.
maybe that's the wrong comparison. Captain America meets Johnny from Cobra Kai. He has just no filter. He doesn't really give a fuck what comes out. He has this really awesome line. This is gonna be a slight spoiler, but it's just I got to tell you about this line because I couldn't believe they said this shit. He's
Yeah.
talking about um he doesn't like how effeminate men are becoming in society, right?
I've
And
heard that before. Yeah.
and he's talking about Bill Cosby, and he's like Bill Cosby was America's father, and he's just speaking admiration. But he was like, yeah, that was a real man. He made some strong ass drinks though, and I was like, yo, what?
Wow.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, they got to put that in the show. I'm not mad at them. They got to put that in the show.
yeah,
You
you
got it.
know, the boys is like one of the only shows that get away with a line like that. But
Yeah.
A Train is actually an interesting character. Like, because he's struggling to find identity, because for reasons again I won't go into. His place on the seven may be threatened again, but like really threatened to sign. So he has to find a way to distinguish himself a little bit. And the direction they take him in is it almost makes you feel bad for. I've seen a lot of chatter. Like a lot of people are like, A-Train deserves all the shit that's currently happening to him because of what happened. Um, but I don't know. Like in a world like in the narrative world when all sorts of characters get redemption arcs, and I mean like Harley Quinn is an anti-hero now. You know what I mean? After all the horrific shit she's done, and they
Yeah,
gave her a chance to come back. So it's like I'm not about to look at A-Train and go, "Oh, you're irredeemable." So they're giving him a little something, and it's he's so far he's working for me better this season than he was the last season. Because in season two he's fucking useless. um,
yeah, he
but
was barely in it, really. He was,
yeah,
yeah,
and Ashley, the PR manager, they're starting to hint at a lot of not a lot, but something under the surface. I think the biggest triumph in the season so far is that it's giving all of the characters more dimension. Now, most of the characters have had dimension since the beginning of the show, but like it's really started like Ashley and A-Train and this new character Drummer Boy. They're really giving you a look into those characters beyond just like, oh well, Ashley is always panicking about like there's more to her a little bit. She's still an asshole, but there's more to her. And every time the episode ended, I was like, damn, do I really want episodes to be weekly? Because I want to see more. But I actually like the weekly format. So I'm willing to deal with it. There's a really awesome throwdown in the latest episode 5. Like, dude, you gotta watch that episode. They the hero gasm. They brought the hero gasm story to life, which I never thought they would do. Um, Admittedly, just because I read the hero gasm comic, which is a giant orgy of superheroes, if you didn't know.
what?
Um,
Yeah, I'm about to. What in the hell is a hero gasm? What is that?
so in the context of the comic, um, once a year, the hero community comes together and they tell the public that this alien race is invading Earth again, and they have to fly out into space and go deal with it. It's this. It's like a commentary on superhero crossover events, like in comics and shit. So
Right,
they say they have to go out into space and go deal with this because apparently these guys come back every once in a while to try to invade Earth again. But what they really do is they all fly to an island on some Epstein type shit, and they just have a big ass orgy. Ergo herogasm, like orgasm, like you're so
that's. I love this series. That's why I love this series because it's like if you make these comic book heroes and put them in the real world, like this is what they would do. Like, yeah, I totally believe. Like they in them like tight spandex suits all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know they be checking each other out and be like, okay, yeah, yeah, no, no, all right, we gonna go to that island. When we go to that island, that ass is yeah. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
They toned it down a little bit for the show. This is gonna sound a little weird. It's gonna sound perverted, but I'm gonna say it, and it is what it is. I was things like this whenever there's like a big moment or storyline from a book or a comic or something that existed as some other medium before it was adapted. I always take issue whenever a story tries to treat it as a backdrop for something else. Because in the comic book, Herogasm is its own volume. It's a whole event all its own. Like that's the story. I mean, there's stuff going on the island, but like the inciting incident is Herogasm. In the show for that episode, Herogasm is more so what's going on in the background while they focus up on the continued story, which I understand. I mean, like, do you really want to derail the entire story for an episode just to show softcore porn? Like, I understand that, um, but like they hyped Herogasm up, like in all the promotional material, they were that was their whole thing,
With
and
that, they had commercials about like hero gasm.
not
I
like
missed.
commercials, but they kept talking like in interviews and whatnot. They kept releasing press. about the fact that yes, we really are bringing hero guys to light because it's like the one thing in the comic that I would have put money that they would never have actually put on screen, but they were
Right.
like, no,
Yeah.
we're doing it. And I was like, okay, cool, we're doing it. It doesn't even really get started until halfway through the episode, which I knew was a bad sign.
Oh
I was
wow.
all right, it's not actually going to be about. They put a disclaimer at the start of the episode, so I thought like I looked over because I was watching it with one of my friends, and as soon as I saw that disclaimer, I looked over and I was like, I guarantee you, the first shot of this episode is going to be some woman getting fucked by a pig or some shit. Like it's and that's not what happened. And
Oh okay.
my if you're watching this, you've already heard too much, but this is a very crass show and it's a very crass episode, so maybe don't watch this. Don't even watch this review because I'm talking about shit I shouldn't be talking about. Anyway,
Well, do we
anyway,
need to put a disclaimer on this episode?
probably, probably, honestly. I'm gonna sum all this up in a PG way. So if you want to put that on YouTube and maybe make this like some deleted shit, so,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
I'm gonna have to cut the shit out of this, huh?
yeah, for real. Um, yeah, what they're going after Homelander, and there's a throwdown with Homelander. I can't really tell you how it goes down or why it's able to go down or anything like that, and who it's between. But it's a really amazing fight. It's just to me, I was just like, it wasn't the event that they because I mean, by the boy, if this was like Daredevil, you know what I mean, or if this was really any other superhero show and it had an episode like this, then this would very well be the hero guys and they said it was going to be. But by the boys' standards, I mean, it wasn't that out of pocket. You know what I mean? Like you've seen some shit watching this
they
show already.
they
Oh
straight up had some wild shit on their like
yeah.
on their in their show. Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know, cool. But oddly enough, even though that's the part they hyped up, all the stuff around that was more interesting, and I was like actually captivated by all of that. And Starlight makes a bold decision at the end, so I'm waiting to see how the show is going to wrap up. In short, for the part that you're actually allowed to show, I think this is the strongest the show has been since season one. I think all of the characters are getting a lot of development that they sorely need. I think all the characters this season are relevant, and in season two, it was quite a few characters that seemed like they were just falling to the wayside. But this time around, it seems it's like all hands on deck. The conspiracy is growing. Vault is getting out of control. The public has their opinion. Edgar might be in some trouble. Victoria Newman is might be discovered. It's a whole thing. I'm legitimately on the edge of my seat every time I sit down. They're not pulling no punches. People are still
Okay.
getting blown up. People are still
Okay.
getting torn apart. And I can't tell you how the season's gonna end. I have no idea, but I think we've got 4 episodes left, so who knows what can happen. And they've already been renewed for season 4. So
Yeah,
I say
already.
yeah,
Okay.
I say get on that, bro. I get on that, man. It's 5 episodes. You can knock that out in the next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. That's it's up next. It's up next. But yeah. So I'm surprised Edgar was he survived season two. Actually, I'm surprised he actually survived season two. Because the last CEO or whatever, yeah, she ain't make it. she,
Now
but,
it's like fucking melted ice cream.
for real, yeah. But so, all right, would you recommend like reading? Well, for how long is the comic run? Like, how long is that?
12 volumes.
Yeah, that's a bit. That's a little hump. But okay, I could do because I was thinking maybe I could read some of it or read the comics before I watch the show. But I'm just gonna start watching the show, like probably tonight or tomorrow night or something like that. Um, to
Yeah,
kind of get on it.
considering how many differences between the comic and the show there are, and you're not starting from the beginning of the show, it would be hard to figure out where exactly in the comic you would be. But it
Yeah,
feels like based on how I know the comic ends, and based on some of the actual events um, that they've adapted like beat for beat almost. we're actually more toward the end of the comic run than we are. So I don't expect the show to go on much longer. Honestly, I think season 4 might be the last one because I can't.
Okay.
If it continues this trajectory, there's not really much left to do.
Hopefully that they don't pull a Game of Thrones and just like start. No, we're gonna keep it going. But we just gonna pull it out our ass. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean? Like, yeah,
call it
that was a
after.
mistake. That was a mistake. But all right, yeah. So there we go. The Boys season 3. A little quick summary on like how the season's going so far. Sounds like a 5 so far.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds good to me. All right, cool. I bet. So all right.
Except
So
for
now,
that episode get like a 4.
oh, it wasn't hardcore enough.
No, no, I wanted that. I wanted those clips to have to be on Pornhub. You know what I mean? Like that's what
I bet. So, all right, we're gonna transition right on over to Obi-Wan on Disney Plus.
child
And
friendly.
yes, the oh, it's the mouse. So the mouse ain't playing that. You know what I'm saying? Unless but he might put it on Hulu though. You know what I mean? He might.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so uh, Obi-Wan, starring Ewan McGregor, and I'm gonna put James Earl Jones in there too as like a co-star because as the season goes on, he becomes very prominent in this show. But it's on Disney Plus. It's a 6 episodes. And it wrapped up last week, I believe, or last week or the week before. And so, yeah, right off the bat, I just, it I liked it in the beginning. It struggled towards the middle part. It struggled, but it like at the end, it regained me. It like redeemed itself at the end. It was a ride. It was a real ride, and yeah, we were talking about it last week, I believe. Just like how the writing don't really make sense. Really, like how does Obi-Wan not know that Vader is alive? And like kind of running the Empire at this point. But yeah, man, what you think about it? What you think of the ending and how it all wrapped up?
Um, I have more positive things to say than negative, but I think ultimately it was a mixed experience. I think the biggest problem I had with the show, even in the last episode, was that the Obi-Wan parts, go figure, of the Obi-Wan show were fucking amazing. And the non Obi-Wan parts, the things that you would think would be reserved for a show that's not called Obi-Wan, it was all right. You know what I mean? Like it took away. Like if you, I feel like there's enough footage between the 6 episodes that involve Obi-Wan directly that you have a solid movie. And this is just what happens when you try to take a premise that makes for a good movie and try to stretch it out into a show. You end up with an okay show when you could have actually had a great movie. Like Obi-Wan's showdown with Vader at the end of the show was, I mean,
I mean, it don't get no better, man. Like, I damn near stood up and clapped in my living room. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, like, yeah, there are points in this show where it was just like, this is the Star Wars I want. You know what I mean? I don't the Skywalker trilogy, man. Throw that whole thing away. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of the Star Wars I want. But like you said, even in the show, there was like a filler episode, and there's like a
yeah,
whole episode was like a filler, and it's just like, why did we don't really need to? She got like Leia got captured twice. It's like, what, for real, for real. All right, you need 6 episodes. I got you. But a lot of the subplots, like the whole Reva thing, I don't know. It's kind of disappointing. To me, it was a little disappointing. Like, but they ran into an issue where they had like a really good character, but she has no weight on like anything else that happens like in the Star Wars lore, because this is like a prequel, so like a lot of what's going to happen here, or like what happened in the main stories, like the main trilogy, already
Right.
happened, and we already know what's going on. So all the stuff we getting in this show is just extra. It's just it bears. It's not going to bear that much weight in the actual like anthology, and so
Right.
it's like okay, it's a catch 22. Like you have this really good character, which okay, yeah, she has a good motivation, and I can see her carrying on with this. But now you're gonna have to like write her into like the anthology somehow. And I mean, we got the Mandalorian and all that now, so I mean, I guess we can see her that she's gonna be like old Reva when we see her next.
Yeah, that's why I think they should have just nutted up and let her die. Like
Yeah, I was waiting on that. Like,
she
kill
should
her.
have just failed. And it's not even because I want to see Reva. It's like I don't hate the Reva character. I actually really like the Reva character, or at least I came to like the. At first, she was just like standard bad guy, but then I really came to like her. But it's really for the sake of just the continuity that like the more characters that you try to fit in between these sections of the story, the more you have to. I just have to go like, all right, well, where were they? Because there's a lot of irons. I mean, we know Ahsoka now exists in the whatever. We got Reva in there, Captain Rex. They keep creating character, the Inquisitors and whatever, and none of these characters show up in the original trilogy. And fourth wall explanations because they didn't exist at the time, but now it's like there's only been so many. Oh well, I was off doing something else during those events that I'm about to take before I just go. All right, look, it would have been tragic, but it would have made sense that Reva goes through all of this and Vader in some twist of like, I'm just kind of playing along because what else is there to really do when you're helping me get my dirty work done? Would have just spilled the
Yeah,
beans. Yeah, bitch, I knew what you was up to, and just killed her. It would have just, and her mission would have just ended in failure.
yeah, because it takes away from that whole scene when well, first off, that whole thing leading up to like she was one of the younglings that Anakin killed, or he thought he killed, but
Oh,
she
she was.
survived. Yeah, wait, you playing? You playing? You playing with me? But yeah, like I don't. Okay, I can buy that. Okay, sure, all right. But the fact that like she had this whole elaborate plan going on, she's gonna get into like the Inquisitors and work her way up, and Vader's not gonna know or sense any of this. Okay. But I love how like he was. I love that scene because he was just playing with her.
Yeah, he
He was
disrespected the shit out of her.
he
He
was just playing with her. I
didn't even pull his life. He just get swatting her away like a fly. Bang.
I just love that, man. As a matter of fact, he like poked the thing and he just threw a lightsaber at him. Man, come on. I'm bored right now. What you got? Let me see.
I'm glad they did it that way because the whole time I was like, and again, it's not Reva hate. It's just it's a love for the continuity. I was like, if Reva comes in here and actually rocks with Vader like that, just because of whatever the character is supposed to be, I'm gonna have a problem. But they had Vader just completely dog walker, and I was like, all right,
Yeah.
because
See.
I need Vader to be. If we're in the era of Vader, it's not like I need Vader to be the strongest character that ever lived, but like while in the era of Vader, I need that menace to maintain itself. I don't want to
Right.
know that, and that's why honestly I have mixed feelings. As great as the fight was, I have mixed feelings about Obi-Wan fighting him because in the Rebel series, Ahsoka fights him and slices his helmet. Obi-Wan fought him in this show and sliced his helmet. Like, I don't want to see a bunch of different battles where Vader gets heavily damaged because it kind of takes away from the legend that was this unstoppable. Like, two prominent Jedi at this point, canonically, have had him dead to rights, and neither of them killed him. They just let this menace keep doing what he was doing. And I'm like,
I I didn't know Asaka like really she went toe to toe with Vader and it's like she was okay at the end. I
yeah, I think, but that's the thing. I think Ahsoka could go toe to toe with Vader. I just don't think, for the sake of continuity, they should meet, because that I can't keep seeing these moments where Vader is at somebody's mercy, because now you just look irresponsible. Like, y'all are supposed to be protecting the galaxy, and y'all both let him go.
I mean I buy Obi-Wan because like that's I mean that's like his brother really. It's like his like little brother almost. So I can buy Obi-Wan like the reason he didn't kill him in like on the in the lava when he was like crawling on the rocks in the lava. It's just like I can't. How am I supposed to like kill off my little brother? You know what I mean? And that's I kind of buy it there. I buy that whole fight, like that whole sequence, like yeah. That's why like everybody looks up to Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I yeah, I loved it, man. Especially I love the thing with like all the rocks and everything was like crumbling. And Vader's a bad. One thing I love, like they started it in Rogue One at the end of Rogue One, because I had and every time I watch one of those god awful Skywalker trilogies, I have to rewatch Rogue One to like remind myself what a good Star Wars like movie looks like and feels like. And like the last 5 minutes of Rogue One was just like, yes, they got it. Somebody knows who Vader is and why he's such a badass. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they've been doing it really well since Rogue One. Like them other movies, yeah, just throw the whole thing away. But yeah, like these two of the most powerful like Force users like in the known galaxy. That's what a fight between them would look like, throwing just mountains at each other. Know what I'm saying? It was just craziness, and it's like, man, I loved it. Like they redeemed themselves in there, and like yeah, the Reva thing. I don't like. She like stabbed the other Inquisitor in the gut, and he
Mhm.
just comes back, and then like Vader stabs her in the gut. What? So, how is that not a death blow? Like, how are they still coming back?
It was for Qui-Gon. That nigga's still going. He did not
Yeah,
quit.
right. And he comes back at the very end of the season to set up for the next season. Of course, I think everybody saw that coming, right?
What is going to be a next season?
Hey, look, that mouse said, "I need episodes on my app."
Man, honestly, that was my biggest regret of the show as a whole. And I still had, despite the moments that I enjoyed, I still hold true to the fact that my real beef with the show is that I really expected Obi-Wan coming to terms with everything that had happened with Qui-Gon, like training with Qui-Gon, just to really bridge that episode 3, episode 4 gap. I didn't really expect space adventure. Like, I kind of wanted like a quieter kind of story. Now, like I said, it has me conflicted, because moments where like Vader and Obi-Wan going at it, can't say that wasn't cool. I can't. I'd be lying.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Um, but like, I would have traded all of that for that story. Honestly, I would, because it's just, to me, every Star Wars adventure don't have to be epic. Some of them can be quieter. Like the Mandalorian worked really well. The best episodes of the Mandalorian was when he was just like chilling. Maybe somebody
sure.
stuck in the mud and he got to help him out, and
Yeah,
shit like that. It was just,
yeah.
um, I don't know. Just,
It
and
was.
now,
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say the idea that they're now gonna make a second season, just that kind of breaks my heart, honestly.
Yeah, where are they going? So, is Luke going to be in trouble next? They got to go rescue Luke. Like what? What are they going to do next? It's just they're going to find some BS to write. But I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of Qui Gon and Obi in the second season. That's why I think He said something to the effect of, it's going to be a long journey or whatever, like right at the end of the season. But I don't, yeah, with and that's cool too. I like the slower, more like smaller, more intimate episodes, and just to kind of build onto it. I don't know if they didn't really do that in Obi-Wan though. It was kind of slow in the beginning. It was slow in the beginning, just seeing Leia, going through that whole thing with her and Jimmy Smits, and see catching up with Obi-Wan and like Luke and all that. So the first episode was kind of slow-ish, but I think the Mandalorian is like the perfect blend for that, because there were like quieter moments, and then you had like the actiony stuff like that. So, but I would not trade it. No, give me more of like the epic Jedi battles. I want more of that. Like, I want some more. I like the epic. Like, give me like 1,000 droids coming up against like 3 or 4 Jedi. I'm off. I'm a big kid for all that. You know what I'm saying? But
I might just be tired of this era. Like, I feel like I've spent my entire life in the Clone Wars and Imperial era. I get it. I understand. They just keep finding new ways to create more in between stories in
yeah,
those eras. Like, oh,
yeah,
here's about this other Jedi who was during the Clone Wars that we didn't tell you about. It's like, dude, I've seen the Clone Wars in almost every version that you can present it. I've seen the Imperial era in almost every version you can present it. Give me some old Republic shit. Like, there's so much lore to Star Wars. Like when they talk about the ancient Sith lords, like Plagueis and Bane and Nihilus and all them niggas that the shows have never touched. Like, go. Let's hear some stories about that. We know virtually nothing about that. We've definitely never seen any like movies or TV shows that really expound on it. Just something other than like the Clone Wars and the Age of the Empire. It's just, I mean, the Mandalorian takes place after that, so there's that. But they just want to keep reset. It's like, yo, come on now, let
yeah.
it go, let it the fuck go,
And I
please.
think the success of the Mandalorian should tell them people, like, no, we want, like, move it forward. You know what I mean? Keep moving
Yeah,
forward. We want to know what the next phase is, what the next step is. Like, leave. We can leave. This might sound like blasphemy for Star Wars fans, but we can leave the Skywalkers alone. You know
we
what I'm
can
saying?
no,
We
for real.
we can move on and see some other stuff. There's a
It's just
there's a
like a
huge
thousand years in the
galaxy.
future.
Well,
It's
I
just
mean, yeah, this might be the video we get like a bunch of comments, but they all gonna be hate comments. You know what I'm saying?
oh, so, nah, it's all good. Man, they're making a fucking uh prequel show to Rogue One. How the fuck you gonna make a prequel to a prequel movie?
Bro,
Hey,
leave it alone, man. This gets on my nerves with this, bro. Like, Rogue One was successful, great. Move on. Like, write a new story. Man, this Star Wars is really. I don't know why I like Star Wars so much, because it really gets on my nerves at times. It's like, bro, what you beaten like that? I mean, the horse is like decomposed at this point, bro. Just move on, bro. Can we get some new story? Mandalorian was perfect. It was perfect. That's why we loved it. We watched it. So give us more, man. There's more stuff out there. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to rate it. If you're ready, if you got nothing else,
mm-hmm.
I'm giving this a 4. Man, it was yeah, there were gaping plot holes in this, and the middle episodes was a drag. It really was, but it picked up towards the end. We got a good new character, Reva. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with her, but it was cool to have like a new character in there. And yeah, that's 4. I'm giving it 4. 3, just a 3. I feel you. I feel you. Like, the last episode was enough for me to pick it up. Just pick it up. give it a 4. You
No,
know.
you saw.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. Yes, man. It's like I've turned into like a 8-year-old again. When Star Wars like does it right, yeah, I turn into like an 8-year-old kid all over again in my Star Wars pajamas. You know what I'm saying? My little Luke, my yoga little plushy doll.
Fair enough. I can't be mad at you, bro. I can't be mad at you. But they ain't getting a
I
four from me, bro.
there's no for what 7 out of 10. That's probably exactly that's probably exactly where it is too. In all honesty, that's probably exactly where it should be. So yeah, man, I'm ready to call it. Unless you got something else.
Nah, I'm cool. We can.
I keep forgetting about this. So yeah, all right. That is this week's episode of the A.nA podcast. So yeah, if you like what you hear, like the video, subscribe to us, comment down below, and as always, check us out on all the places you stream your podcasts. Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music. It's everything except for Apple. But coming soon. I'm a correct that coming soon, pretty soon. But yeah,
Send us your
thank you
hate
for
mail.
yeah, Apple, you ridiculous though. Like you making us jump through hoops to put a podcast up. I digress. Thank you for checking us out and watching the videos. My name is Alex Mack, and with me as always is my partner.
I'll
All right, bro. So I will catch y'all on the next one. All right, peace.